Howdy folks. This isn't supposed to be about Mark Devlin or attacking Mark Devlin, although that might actually happen in this video. It's more like this guy decided that he would bring up a subject and then disallow his community to actually have a conversation about it by disabling the comments, because he didn't want to have to look at them. First thing, Mark, and people who aren't familiar with Mark, y'all don't look at your comments anyway. Not you specifically, Mark, if you're listening. Much respect to you for what you do and what you know and what you share, but the channels get to a certain point in size. Let me take a quick glance at yours. Yeah, 7,500. You're way past the point of actually looking at your comments, because if there's only so many hours in the day and there's only so much energy that someone can give out. Okay, I will also put another warning, another preface on this video that I gave up watching it. I gave up watching Mark's original video at 4 minutes and 41 seconds because he pissed me off. I don't care what people do with their own bodies, really. I guess you could say, you know, I'm already on the dark side. I eat meat. So, you know, what's it to me if someone doesn't eat meat? I have a trust, an inherent trust that most people, almost all people who have decided to avoid meat, if not exclusively for health reasons, that they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, that they actually genuinely believe that this is the best thing to do. And you know what? This might be a digression, but I'll hit on it now. If that was actually possible for the human system, that is the way I would live. So much respect to Mark for, you know, choosing this way. Now, I would be interested in hearing what Mark has to say in the remaining 12 minutes and 8 seconds of his video. I don't really appreciate how he caricatured the opposition, if you will, the opposition. It is very childish the way he laid those things out. He skipped over a few philosophical questions, just went with his assumptions, and decided to take pot shots at those of us who do decide that it is both natural, necessary, and ethical to eat meat, and if not meat, animal products. He decided that he didn't want other people to be exposed to opposing opinions. That's pretty much what it is. Like I said, he's way beyond actually reading the comments on his own videos. He said, I don't want to hear from these people, paraphrasing that one sentence, and said, I don't want comment threads that go back and forth for days, as if he's going to be a part of them, as if he can't just go into the YouTube studio, edit that particular video, and turn off those comments so that he doesn't see the comment emails and little bell notifications. It's kind of, well, it makes me question Mark here. It really does. As I was going to say, but I just wandered off into a digression again. I would be interested in what Mark has to say in the 12 minutes and 8 seconds and remaining in the video, but he kind of laid it out arseways, really, as we say in Ireland, because he should have actually wrapped up the original thought, which is implied in the title of the video. He calls it a response to current social engineering trends. So this guy admits that, you know, it took him a while to see that this is going on, that we're being manipulated from all angles to accept and adopt veganism. Yet he is trying to force himself to be vegan. It's astonishing, like, that he doesn't stop to think that, wait, you know, maybe there's a reason for this. Maybe there's a reason that fits in with the model that we both share, me and him, and a lot of his viewers and a lot of people who know my content, even though I only post like once a year. We know that we're going to be cold and that this has got to be a part of it, especially when you see the arguments for a diet that includes meat. Now, I will include resources in the description area of this video so that you can look at the other side of the argument that Mark, I'm going to say, doesn't want you to see. Maybe it's not malicious, but he's certainly preventing you from seeing the other side of the argument. And then, on the face of it, rejecting those arguments by basically making the case for us. No matter how well he thinks he's making the opposition case. You've got to think about all these things. If, by some chance, Mark is actually listening to this, like I said, I'm not out here to attack, and I hope that I'm coming across in the most impartial and neutral way possible. I can't help but have my... If you're really have presence of mind, you need to ask yourself, dude, if you're finding it hard to be vegan, maybe the reason for that is that you're not supposed to be, you know? Maybe your body just knows better than your mind, than your ego. You know what that is, Mark. You know what an ego is. We get ideas into our heads and we run with them and we cling to them and become a part of our identity. It's not only impossible, I was going to say it's entirely possible, but it's not only possible. It's very likely, and it happens to a lot of people, that in your situation, you have identified a problem in the world. There is suffering. You've decided to make a life change to prevent that suffering. Well done you. But then you learn that there's probably reasons to not opt for that solution. That solution is flawed. But you have this idea in your head that you're not going to let go of. That's not a way to live life. You say that you're flawed, as all we are. Definitely. We could all be better people. But it's a question, really, of what kind of struggle are you having with yourself? A part of wisdom, not saying anyone has any particular level of wisdom. I will not pass judgment on how well another person knows themselves, but a part of wisdom is learning how to discern what a good struggle is and what a bad struggle is. Are you fighting yourself, or are you striving to be a better person? Like there are two separate things. And I'm not going to go into loads of philosophy and biology, because especially biology, I don't really actually understand it, and the more I try to learn, the less I am confident that I could know anything, really. But all of this smacks kind of Christian to me. And I'm, not Christian in the sense that many people are Christian these days. Looking back to what they think is the original roots of Christianity, not saying they're right or wrong. I'm more referring to the self-loathing Christianity of Protestantism and distorted, ugly Catholicism. I say distorted and ugly Catholicism because at the root of it, Catholicism is actually quite beautiful and mysterious, as in mysticism. This whole thing of, I'm an imperfect being, I need to struggle against my flesh. And then there's also the aspect of, we are transcendent beings. Now, I'm not going to say that we're not transcendent beings, but what do we mean when we say that? Are we saying that we are completely different and above the animals that we share the world with? We are different for sure. We have a different level of consciousness. Many Christians and other mystical religious people and occultists out there will say that we are inextricably and fundamentally an expression of God, while, the other animals are just, animals. Now, veganism and vegetarianism, they on the surface claim that, we're just other animals. We see ourselves as equal as other animals. We refuse to eat them. But really, we are just speciesist. We think we're superior when we say that we're not another animal when it comes to our biological needs and our base psychological needs. When I say base psychological needs, I'm not saying that in a new age sense of wrong, but the foundations of who we are. Trying to turn away from that to suggest that we're somehow superior than the animal components that we share with other animals, other primates and other mammals. We have hands that rend flesh. We have a variety of teeth for a variety of purposes, like very few animals, actually. We have one stomach, for instance, as opposed to multiple stomachs. We have shorter digestive systems, while animals that subsist, that live on grains and fruit and vegetables, they're fermentable things. So these animals have fermentation as their what you call a digestive system, if you will. So I'm going to leave it there, because honestly I've said all I can, and my audacity is having a